Hi everyone, Anat Kessler here with a new tutorial, and today we are making a mini art journal that can inspire you and that you can write whatever you want inside. So we're going to start with a 12 by 12 white cardstock, and I'm going to use some sprays. If you don't have sprays, you can do this with acrylic paints or whatever paints you have to cover the entire page with at least 4 different colors. So you can do it with whatever medium that you have. I'm just going to spray them with green, yellow, teal, and magenta. I think these are colors that blend well together. And spraying is a really easy tool to cover large papers. I'm using Dina Wakley's sprays, and these are basically acrylic paints in a shape of a spray. So that is really cool when it's dry. I'm going to show you how it looks. It has that glossy finish. Looks really cool. And once you are done covering your page with paint, you need to let it dry. If you have a heat tool, then use that to dry. It has to be completely dry. Or just leave it to dry for an hour or two in the air. Once everything is dry, just want to show you up close that glossy finish. Looks really pretty. I love these sprays. So now we're going to cut our paper into 6 inches, so in 2 halves, and each piece we're going to cut at 4 inches. So we're going to have 6 pieces measuring 4 by 6. So that's our pages. These are pages for our mini art journal. Next, we're going to score each of the pieces in the center, in the middle. So that means score it at 3 inches. And this is why the paper needs to be completely dry, because if it will be a little bit wet, the scoring will tear it completely, and we don't want that. So once you have scored all your pieces, we're going to fold them together, scoring the fold, making sure that it's aligned and that it's straight. And then we're going to bind all these pages into an art journal. So basically what we're creating is an art journal that later you already have backgrounds for all the pages, so you can later add whatever you want inside that art journal. Journaling, drawing, doodling, whatever you want. So we're going to bind it by applying glue to the back side of the first page and then attaching the second page back to back. Make sure it's aligned, and if you need to cut one of the edges a little bit because it's not the same size, then make sure that's straight. And then you simply go on applying glue to the back side of the last page and attaching the next page back to back. So this is basically our mini art journal. This is a really easy way to bind a mini book, a notebook, an art journal, whatever you want. You can't add a lot of volume in this type of binding, but it's great for journaling, drawing, doodling, art journaling, etc., without adding any volume or any thick pieces inside. So once we have all our pages binded or bound, make sure that they're not glued to each other. We're going to make our outer cover. Yes, you're seeing correctly, I'm using a bandage. This is going to make your binding very, very strong. So what I'm doing is cutting a piece of just regular printer paper and a piece of the bandage, and this is going to be the strength in my binding. I'm applying glue to all three sides and attaching the bandage. Make sure it's nice and tight, and then if you have any excess that is not glued, simply cut it away. This is actually an old binding tip. This is how they used to bind in the old days, using bandages. Because of the form, the structure of the bandage that is weaved, it adds a lot of strength when combined with liquid glue. So apply glue to the paper and the mini book, and then cover the bandage with the white paper. Basically, all we need to do now is add some more colors to the front and the back cover. So I'm using the same sprays with the same colors, so it will look the same on the outside and on the inside. Then let's do the other side, and of course make sure that the spine is also covered with the same colors. And once everything is dry, we can go ahead and start working on the inside of our journal. So I want to work with circles, but before that, just want to distress or add distress ink. You can do this with any ink on all the edges of all the pages, just so the white will not show. So I'm using a sponge and some ink, and now I can go ahead and start working on the inside. So I'm going to work with some circle stamps, different designs of circles that I have, with some black ink. And of course, this is the part where you can add whatever you want to the inside of your journal, whatever kind of shapes, words, doodling, drawing, painting, texting, anything that you want to add to the inside. This is your design. So this is the part where you add your personal artistic touch. So I'm using different kinds of circle stamps, adding them to the pages. You can see I have little circles, larger circles, and of course you don't have to use black ink. You can use whatever ink you have. You can use colored pencils, markers, crayons, just a simple pen, black or white pens. You don't have to use stamps, of course. So once all my stamps are stamped, I think I'm going to add more details. And as you know, the more details you add to your art journal, I think the better it will look. But that's of course up to you. You can make it as busy or as minimal as you want. So I'm going to bring some black and white Posca pens. You can use a Sharpie pen. You can use, again, like I said, any type of marker or permanent pen that you have that will not smear and that will write on the acrylic paint background that we did. So I'm adding more details to my pages. And again, this is the part where you can add whatever you want. I'm adding more faces. I want to have faces on my pages. And then I'm going to add some quotes and some doodling. This is how I'm going to finish all my pages. And nobody said that you have to write from right to left. Text can be in any direction when you make an art journal page. And like I said, there are no rules. So when you make an art journal page, you can add whatever you want in any direction, in any color, in any boldness, in any medium, whatever you feel like expressing in that moment, this is what you're going to make. So I'm adding details. I like to dry the pens before I move to the next page, just to make sure they don't smear, because sometimes they do. So I'm going to keep on working on my pages, and you can see the different doodling that I add, so maybe it will inspire you to do some doodling of your own, or it will inspire you to do some of it. I like to use black and white pens because they make really good and clear contrast to the colorful background that we made. So I'm just adding basically lines, dots, circles, arches, things like that. This is the basics of doodling. By the way, there are a lot of doodling videos on my channel that you can check out to see how to make them. So whatever comes to your mind, you know, when you make an art journal page, it's best not to overthink things and just express yourself on paper. That is the best thing to do. So this is the final page. I'm going to add my quote. Just a few more circles and dots. And I think this art journal, mini art journal, came out really cute. Sometimes it's fun to make art just for the sake of art and just for the sake of creating something pretty and beautiful and expressing yourself. Doesn't always have to be a purpose behind it, except of course, like I said, the purpose is to make art. So this came out really nice. I really liked how it turned out. Just going to write inspiration in the front, and that will be the front of my mini art journal. So I really hope you like this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click on the little bell icon to be notified when I upload a new video, so you won't miss anything and you can make all the cool projects that I teach. And thank you very much for joining me. I really hope you like this video, and I will see you next time.